Hello, this is Doug Brook at NorthStar DHI Services. Today we're going to be taking a look at somatic cell counts. Specifically, we will be looking at the past somatic cell count lactation of the last test day and the first test day of the new lactation for cows in our herd. This will give us an indication if the dry cow protocols are working correctly, the treatments, and or if there are environmental or pen conditions that might cause elevated somatic cell count issues or treated issues because of the treatments. First of all, we're going into our cow graphs, which is up here in the upper left part of the screen, and we have to create a new user-defined graph. So once we get in there, we're going to say new. We're going to call this titled report last SCC versus current test day SCC. The two database items we want to be able to look at in this report would be 404, which is the first test day of the new lactation, and also 210, which will be the previous lactation last somatic cell count score. Once we get those in a new report, we're going to click and say plot this information. Now we have a graph with all the cows plotted. I don't want to show my line, I want to bring in crosshairs. I'm going to put my crosshairs at linear score 4 and 4. So now as I'm looking at this graph, these cows had ended the last lactation with a high cell count, and this current lactation they started with a high cell count. Those are problem issue cows. Here are some cows that ended their lactation with a low cell count, started the new lactation with a high cell count. You have a bunch of cows that are cured through that dry cow protocol treatment, and other cows that just didn't have any issues at all. So this is one way to put some information up on a graph, give us an indication over the total lactation of the cows, whether there are issues or not. If I wanted to see a list of those cows, there is a tab in the upper left that says list. This will show me all the cows. I can put that in a CSV format, run that into Excel if I want to. But at this point we are going to X out of here. That was one way to use the cow graphs to give us an indication of what's going on with past lactation SCC and current. In part number 2, which is coming later, we will be creating a user-defined report that specifically looks at the individual cows that we are looking at over the course of their lactation. So specifically, we will be creating a new user report that looks at all these cows and how their last test day somatic cell count is versus their first test day somatic cell count. This is Doug Brook at NorthStar DHI Services.